300 Spartan men changed the course of history forever at the Battle of Thermopylae. But what if I told you that they almost didn't make it? This is the story of how a small band of Spartan brothers changed the world. The year is 480 BC. The Persian Empire, under the command of King Xerxes, has set out to conquer Greece. At their rear are two of the greatest military commanders in history, the god of war himself, Ars, and the cunning strategist Dotus. Leading the Greek city-states against them is a man known simply as Leonidas, the king of Sparta. Leonidas knows that he cannot win a war against such a powerful empire with just 300 Spartan men. He asks other Greek city-states for help, but many refuse. Athens sends 1,000 hoplites, but most of the other city-states refuse to send any troops at all. So King Leonidas and his 300 Spartan warriors are joined by 1,000 Athenian hoplites and about 400 to 800 Thespians, bringing the total number of Greek forces to around 1,500. But even still, Leonidas knows that this force is not enough to defeat the Persians. So before the two armies meet in battle, he allows his allies to slip past the Persian lines and retreat to safety. But when the Persians attack, he stands firm with his 300 Spartans and a small force of Thespians, about 400 men in total. The next day, the Persian forces come again, but still Leonidas holds them off with his elite warriors. Then on the third day, the Persian commander, Dotus, realizes that he cannot defeat the Greeks head-on. So he sends out a small force to find another way around the pass. That night, one of the Persian soldiers tells the Greeks that there is an abandoned mountain trail leading over the heights above the pass. And so that night, while the Persians are asleep, the Greeks sneak up the mountain in the darkness and get to the top just before sunrise. From above, they see the huge Persian army spread out below them like a blanket. They can see the cavalry, the infantry, the chariots, and even the king's personal guard. And the Greeks know that if they can hold out just one more day, then the Persians will have to abandon their attack and leave the pass. But then something happens. A Spartan soldier sees a lone rider making his way down the Persian lines. It is a Persian messenger who has brought news from another Persian commander, Solmista, telling Xerxes that the rest of the Persian fleet has arrived, and the Greek navy has been defeated at the Battle of Artemisium. With this good news, Xerxes is emboldened to renew his attack and capture the pass by force. And so the messenger rides back up the line, shouting the news to every Persian soldier that hears him. And immediately the entire Persian army springs into action. They abandon their camp and begin marching toward the pass. When the Spartan king Leonidas sees this, he knows that his small band of 300 elite warriors must now hold off the entire Persian army until nightfall. If they do, then the Persians will be forced to abandon their attack and retreat to safety. If they fail, then the Persian army will pour through the pass and march on to Athens, pillaging and burning the city as they go. So Leonidas rallies his warriors and prepares to defend the pass to the death. When the Persian army arrives at the pass, they attack with everything they have. They hurl their arrows and javelins at the Spartans. But the Spartans stand firm, their shields protecting them from the flying missiles. Then the Persians charge in with their chariots and horsemen, But the Spartans have prepared for this as well. They form a protective circle around their king and deflect the attacks with their spears and swords. For hours, the Persians batter against the Spartan shield wall, but they cannot break through. But then disaster strikes for the Greeks. One of the Spartan youths accidentally knocks his helmet off during the fighting. And when the Persians see this, they think that the Greeks are afraid. So they redouble their efforts and press their attack even harder. When the young Spartan sees his helmet lying on the ground, he wants to retrieve it, but the fighting is too intense. No one is allowed to leave the shield wall, not even for a lost helmet. The young Spartan knows that if he leaves the safety of the shield wall, then he may be killed. But he also knows that if his helmet is captured by the Persians, then he will be ridiculed for the rest of his life. So as his comrades hack and slash at the Persian attackers, he sneaks away from the shield wall and runs toward his helmet. As he makes his way across the battlefield, the young Spartan sees a wounded Persian soldier clutching his side. Where a Spartan sword has pierced his armor, the Persian coughs up blood and looks down at his wound, realizing that he is dying. As the Persian looks down at his deadly wound, he sees the young Spartan racing across the field toward his helmet. In his last moments alive, the Persian pulls out his dagger and throws it at the young Spartan. The dagger flies through the air and lodges itself in the young Spartan's leg, knocking him off his feet and sending him crashing to the ground. The young Spartan lays on the ground bleeding and crying out in pain. He looks down at his leg and sees the dagger sticking out of it. But even though he is hurt and scared, he knows that he must get up and get back to the fight. He slowly gets to his feet and limps back to the shield wall. His comrades welcome him back, but they are angry because he left the safety of the wall and endangered himself. The young Spartan apologizes, but he knows that he has earned his brother's respect back. He fought bravely and was injured for his city-state. This is what it meant to be a Spartan. Then just before sunset, the Persian king, Xerox, leads a massive charge with his elite immortals. But even with the addition of these super soldiers, the Persians cannot break the Spartan lines. And when nightfall comes, the Persians are forced to retreat and lick their wounds. The Greeks have won a stunning victory. Leonidas and his 300 Spartans have held off the entire Persian army for 3 days and won. But when the sun rises the next morning, the Spartans are horrified to find that the Persians have returned and are attacking again. They fight all day, but when the sun goes down, they see that the Persians have returned once more. Then a Spartan warrior named Delius has a brilliant idea. He calls out to the Persians and challenges them to single combat. The Persians accept the challenge and send out their champion to fight the Spartans. Dilos fights bravely, but he is no match for the huge Persian. And after a fierce battle, he is killed. But according to their agreement, the Persians are supposed to withdraw after each champion's death. But instead of leaving, the Persian general orders his army to charge. The Spartans know that they are outnumbered, but they have nothing to lose. So they fight like lions to the death. And in the end, all of the Spartans are dead. But although the Spartans are physically wiped out, their sacrifice has paid off. Because of their courage and determination, the other Greek city-states have had time to prepare their defenses. Now the Persians cannot march on to Athens and burn it to the ground. They are forced to retreat back to Asia Minor with their tails between their legs. The Persian king, Xerxes, never forgives the Spartans for their defiance, and later he invades Greece again with an even larger army. But the Greeks are prepared for him and defeat him once more at the battles of Plataea and Mycale. You can learn more about these battles through additional resources. But for now, let us remember the bravery of those 300 Spartan warriors who stood up against the might of the Persian Empire and changed the course of history forever. Thank you for watching.